another string instrument, the very vibrant viola. Gus is really excited about his new teacher. Let's see what they're up to using Nirk Vision. Hi, Vincent. I'd like to introduce you to the amazingly vibrant violist, Casey Bozell. Hi, Casey. Welcome to Meet the Instruments.
Hi, Vincent. It's good to see you.
Casey, can you tell us a little about how you became a viola player?
Oh, sure. Well, I actually play both violin and viola. I started out on violin when I was a kid, and I actually learned viola when I was an adult. I love the really low tones and the really rich tones that I'm able to get out of the instrument. It's a really fun way to play.
Is that a viola you're holding there? It looks like a violin. I bet you get that a lot, huh? How is it different than a violin?
I do get that a lot, yeah, and that's a really good question. The violin and the viola are played in the same position. They're both played by holding it under the chin like this. If you look at the viola and my violin that I have right here, and you put them up side by side, you can see that the viola is quite a bit bigger than the violin. And not only that, they have different strings on them too. The lowest string that the violin is able to play is this G. But the lowest string that the viola is able to play is this C.
So because it's a bit bigger, it sounds lower?
Exactly.
Casey, how did the viola come to be?
Very good question, Vincent. So the viola is an instrument in what's known as the violin family. The violin was invented way back in the 1500s. And after that came around, people liked it so much that they made instruments of all sorts of sizes. Smaller than the viola, bigger than the viola, so big that you had to put it on the floor, which is where the cello came from. And eventually they decided that this instrument, about this size with these strings, was the best kind of instrument to serve as a middle voice between the violin and the cello.
Are the basic parts on a viola the same as the parts on the violin?
Yeah, they pretty much are. Actually, Gus, do you think you'll be able to remember all the parts of the viola?
Let's see if I remember them all right. The top part is the scroll. Then come the tuning pegs. The neck, which has a fingerboard on it, that's where I use my fingers to change the notes on the strings. Then there's the bridge, which holds the strings up. And then the main part is the body, which is hollow and sound comes out the F holes.
Excellent job, Gus.
Casey, the stick you use to make the sound, the bow, does that have parts too?
It does have special parts, yeah. So this is the bow that I draw along the strings, and the parts of it are over here. This is called the tip. And down here, this black thing, that's called the frog. No one really knows why. Some people think it kind of looks like a frog. In other languages, it's called the heel of the bow, which makes a lot more sense. But for us, ribbit.
Ribbit, ribbit.
And also, the hair down here, you see that? That is made out of horsehair.
Will you please show us how you play a viola?
Oh, sure, Vincent. First, I'm going to rosin up my bow.
Wait, what's that you're putting on the bow?
Oh, good question. So rosin is this little cake I have here. It's made out of hardened tree sap. And, you know, sap, sticky, right? So when you put sticky sap called rosin on the bow, it makes the hair on the bow sticky. And the hair on the bow then grips the strings. That's what makes them vibrate. The vibration from the string goes down the string into the bridge, which goes down to the body of the instrument and swirls around and shoots out the F holes. And that happens every single time we play a note.
Wow! Casey, would you please play something for us on the viola?
Yes, I'd be happy to.
That was awesome, Casey. It is low slower and mellower than the violin. And were those double stops you played at the end there?
That's right, Vincent.
There's this cool plucky thing I've seen string players do. Something to do with a pizza and an avocado? Pizzicato?
Are you thinking of Pizzicato?
Pizzicato! That's it! Can you show us some pizzicato?
Yeah, definitely. So you're right, it is a plucky thing. We're actually using our hand instead of bowing, we're using our right hand to pluck the strings. That's pizzicato. There's different types of pizzicato that we can use too. That's kind of our regular pizzicato. Sometimes in the score it calls for a left hand only pizzicato, which means our right hand isn't involved at all. And then there's my favorite type of pizzicato, which is called a bar top pizzicato. And that's where we pluck the strings straight up and we go so high and so hard that it actually slaps down on the fingerboard and gives it this percussive sound.
Wow, I love pizzicato. It sounds so sneaky to me. I always crave pizza after doing pizzicato.
Well, you have very good taste.
Are there any other cool tricks a viola can do?
Actually, there's a technique that I'm always kind of excited when I see in a piece. It's called col legno, and that means to play with the wood of the bow. I've been playing with the hair of the bow this whole time, but when you see col legno in a part, that means to kind of flip your bow upside down and play with the wood of the bow instead.
Cool! Do you want to know another cool thing that makes the viola special, Vincent? We read in a different clef than any other instrument in the orchestra. It's called Alto Clef.
That's right, Gus. So the alto clef is a clef that's in between treble clef, which is where the high instruments play, and bass clef, which is where the low instruments play. The viola kind of sounds in the middle of the really high and the really low, so we get our own special middle clef.
Casey, the alto clef sure looks a lot like the tenor clef that bassonists use. How are they different?
Good observation, Vincent. So the tenor clef and the alto clef are actually the same symbol, but the tenor clef is put up a little bit higher in the musical staff, whereas the alto clef is right in the middle.
Wow! Casey, let's play our duet for Vincent.
Great idea! That was awesome! Good job!
Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
Can we order pizza now?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That was so pretty, you two. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Casey.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Vincent. This was awesome.
Casey, can I come over for pizza?
Oh my gosh, yes, I'll order an extra one just for you.
Cool, I'll be right there. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Meet the Instruments. Join us next time when we will be meeting another member of the string family, the charming cello. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.
The viola is the best instrument in the orchestra because it's like the cheese in a grilled cheese sandwich. I mean, think about it. You've got the piece of toast that's the violins and the piece of toast that's the cellos. Pieces of toast taste great, but what's the best part of a grilled cheese sandwich? The yummy, gooey cheese in the middle that keeps them together.
I'll have avocado on my pizza and extra cheese.